So, Victor was in his lab thinking about making another one, a girl companion for the creature. But then he started to worry. Oh no, what if she's even more mischievous? Or what if they just hate each other and make a whole bunch of scary monsters? He suddenly realized it was a really bad idea, like super bad. He got all shivers thinking about putting that kind of yucky curse on everyone forever and ever. Victor was so worried trying to figure out what to do when suddenly the monster just appeared at the window. He was watching Victor with this super creepy smile, like he knew something awful was going to happen. Victor got so mad, seeing that awful grin and remembering his terrible promise, that he just ripped apart the lady monster he was making. And the monster, he let out this huge, scary scream of sadness and anger, and then he just disappeared. So Victor, after smashing everything, ran back to his apartment, promising he'd never, ever make anything like that again. But then, hours later, the creature, all big and scary, landed right by Victor's house and was suddenly right there in his room. Oh, he was so mad, telling Victor how much he'd suffered and that Victor had to do what he said now. And then Victor, he was like, "No way! I'm not making another one!" But the creature got so mad, like super duper mad. He started yelling all these scary things, saying he'd make Victor's life awful and even be there on his wedding night. Wow! Victor tried to grab him, but the creature was too fast. Zoom! He just zipped away in his boat. So Victor was all by himself again. But wow, the monster's scary words just wouldn't leave his head, especially the super creepy one about his wedding night. He walked and walked on the beach, feeling so sad, thinking about what might happen to him, and to Elizabeth, and his dad, and Clairval. But then he made up his mind. He wasn't going to let that monster win without a super big fight. And being all alone on the island, just for a little while, made him feel a tiny bit calm. Wow! After a super good sleep, a fisherman actually brought Victor a letter. It was from Henry Clairval, and he was getting impatient, telling Victor to hurry and meet him at Perth so they could travel south together. That letter made Victor feel so much better, and he decided he'd leave the island in just 2 days. Guess what Victor had to do before he left the island? He had to clean up his amazing secret lab. He gathered all the pieces of the monster lady and his awesome science stuff, tucking them into a basket with big, heavy stones. Then, under the cover of night, he sailed his boat way out to sea, and whoosh! He threw all the weird things into the water. They sank down, and he felt like a big weight was lifted. Guess what? Victor fell asleep in his boat, and when he woke up, whoosh! A super strong wind had pushed him way out into the giant open sea, far from shore. He had no compass and couldn't steer, so he was so scared he might starve or get swallowed by the big waves. He felt so sad, thinking about his family and how that scary creature's job was all done. Like the ocean was going to be his forever grave. After what felt like forever, all scary and suspenseful, Victor finally saw it, land, way off to the south. Oh, he was so relieved, and he just knew he had to live. So he quickly made a sail from whatever he could find and steered right for that green coastline. And then, guess what? He saw a little town, all neat and tidy, with a perfect harbor. His heart just bounded with joy because he was safe from the big, dangerous sea. Victor was just tying up his boat after his big adventure, but then, wow, a whole crowd started gathering, staring at him all suspicious. When he asked what town it was, they got super mad and started yelling that he was the villain. Then, a really creepy-looking man tapped him and said, "You gotta come with me to Mr. Kerwin, the magistrate." He had to explain about a gentleman who got murdered last night. Okay, so Victor, he gets brought in front of this super important guy, Magistrate Kerwin, because they found a body. And then a fisherman, Daniel Nugent, tells everyone how he found a dead man right there on the shore with these weird, yucky marks on his neck. Victor just sits there listening to it all, but he has no idea that something super, super sad is about to happen to him. Oh my gosh, Victor got so scared when they said strangulation. It made him think of his poor brother, and Mr. Kerwin was watching him with this super suspicious look. Then guess what? All these people like Daniel Nugent started saying they saw just one man in a boat right near the crime. And that's exactly when Victor had just gotten there. Wow! So Mr. Kerwin, he took Victor and he had to go see the body. But oh my gosh, when he saw it, it was his best friend, Henry Clerval. Victor felt so terrible, like a giant heavy weight just crushed him because he knew it was his fault. And then, bam! He just fell to the ground, shaking and shaking, like he was broken, because he just knew that all the scary things he made, they were the ones who did it to Henry. Oh, wow! Victor got super sick, almost gone for 2 whole months. And guess what? While he was all confused and talking crazy, he started saying he killed William and Justine and even Clerval. He was begging for someone to help him from this fiend that was bothering him. But the coolest part is only Mr. Kerwin. He was the only one who knew what Victor was talking about, even when he was screaming all those scary things. Wow! Victor woke up after being sick for ages. But guess what? He was in a prison cell. He was all confused at first, but then he remembered how awful everything was. And this nurse, she wasn't even nice. She just told him things would be super hard. And Victor felt so miserable because nobody cared about him. Oh my gosh, you won't believe it! Mr. Kerwin was so incredibly kind to Victor, giving him care and comfort even in prison. And then Mr. Kerwin actually came to visit, saying he hoped Victor would get free. But Victor, he was just so sad. He said he wished he could just escape all his bad luck forever. Oh my goodness, you won't believe what happened. Mr. Kerwin found Victor's papers and actually wrote to his family. Victor was so scared, thinking someone else had died, but Mr. Kerwin said, "Nope, everyone's fine. And guess what? Your dad is here." Victor went from super sad to super happy just thinking about seeing his father. And then guess what? My dad, he came right into the cell. He told me everyone was okay, and it made me feel so much better, even though he was really sad about me being stuck there and about Clerval. Mr. Kerwin said we couldn't talk for too long because I was still kind of sick, but just having my dad there, oh boy, it made me start feeling better super fast. Oh wow, even though Victor was all better, he was still super sad. He kept seeing scary pictures of Clerval and that mean monster in his head. He even thought about doing something really bad, but then he remembered he had to protect his family, which is so brave. And then this super smart man, Mr. Kerwin, worked so hard to prove Victor was innocent. And he was. They found out he was way far away on some islands when the bad thing happened to Clerval. Guess what? Victor's dad was jumping for joy because he was finally free. But Victor, oh, he just looked so sad, like everything was dark. He kept seeing his friend and the scary monster, like they were ghosts right in front of him. And he was so quiet and wanted to disappear, so his family had to watch him all the time to make sure he didn't do something super dangerous. Victor just had to leave Ireland. He knew he had to protect his family and finally face it. So he and his dad got on this huge ship, going all the way to France. But on the ship, oh boy, Victor kept having these bad memories and scary dreams. Only a little bit of special medicine and his dad staying right there, watching over him during one really scary dream, made him feel better for a little while.